Hello there, BoBo the Bitcoiner is back. You know, you are not too late to become a wealthy Bitcoiner. Okay. When Satoshi Nakamoto invented the Bitcoin ecosystem in 2008, he wrote this. I'm sure that in 20 years there will be either a very large transaction volume or no volume. Well, that volume today is 100 trillion after 30 years. Just think about that. Bitcoin cannot succeed just partially. It won't play second fiddle. Like Satoshi predicted, it's all or nothing. Global monetary revolution or irrelevant. He sees it clearly. Fiat is becoming more worthless with each passing year. You know, that that's just how the current debt-based system works. More and more fiats needs to be created to prevent the whole monetary system from collapsing. Fiat money works fine as a medium of exchange, especially in the Western world. But it's been getting increasingly worse as a store of value. All right. To compensate for this failure of fiat money, people look to other store of value instruments such as securities, real estate, or gold. This is where Bitcoin compete. The difference is Bitcoin isn't required, doesn't require a third party for safekeeping, such as gold, diamond, or expensive arts. Bitcoin's biggest benefit is scarcity, limited to 21 million Bitcoin. All right. If Bitcoin succeeds and becomes the global sound money that the world so desperately needs, we are going to be known as the first Bitcoin generation. We witnessed the biggest exchange act of Mao God in 2014. We witnessed the what they call the block size war in 2017, and we lived through the great Chinese hash rate migration this year. That is the Bitcoin miners. And now Bitcoin came out stronger, right? We will continue to witness how Bitcoin fixed the world finance. Bitcoin came out stronger all the time. The 20th century was the age of dollarization, right? The 21st century, the age of Bitcoinization. So, using Bitcoin to accumulate fiat, is fundamentally incorrect. All right. No matter how much fiat you store, the fiat is going to dilute into near zero. It really doesn't matter whether the price of Bitcoin is $3,000, $30,000, or $300,000. ultimately, if fiat is going to near zero, your Bitcoin is also going to near zero. So don't value your Bitcoin as fiat. For Bitcoin to become universal unit of account, we have to measure it in sats of Satoshi. Okay, this is what we meant. You know, every Satoshi is equal to 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. Ironically, many are lured into shitcoin foolishly believing they found an affordable alternative to Bitcoin. Since Bitcoin is most used as a store of value, first, it makes sense to start thinking, all right, store value asset instead of US dollars, okay? Many find out the hard way, selling at a fiat price they deem high enough, not only to witness another steep rise in the price. Most speculators find themselves having less and less Bitcoin over time when they should have more and more sats over time. This is how the deflationary aspect of Bitcoin might become viewed as a natural way of things. All right, we need to think long term. Right, mentally dominating things in sats will become second nature. Nobody cares today how much Bitcoin is worth in Zimbabwe dollars. Nobody will care in a few decades how much it is worth in US dollars. That's the reality, right? Okay. But what about the volatility? Once Bitcoin becomes the universally accepted unit of account, the volatility and the rate of appreciation will diminish greatly. This is due to the multiple factors. There won't be any speculators aiming for fiat gains. Everyone will auto DCA, dollar cost average, though it is now called simply saving. And the market capitalization will be so huge that it will be virtually impossible for any single entity to move the purchasing power of Bitcoin. There won't be any dump, nor will there be any pump. Instead, the rate of purchasing power appreciation after hyper-Bitcoinization will simply correspond to the rate of productivity growth. Now, you may say, all this is nice, but it's decade away. Well, you are not too late today because the major social economic consequences are still ahead of us. Appreciation of the possible and quite probable future developments has a strong effect on today's behavior. Knowing where it leads motivates us to act in the proper manner today. Adopting the low time preference outlook, patiently stacking while accounting your saving in sats instead of fiat. Nobody will ever be late to Bitcoin, but not everyone is early. Okay? When Bitcoin becomes a global money and its rate of purchasing power reflects mankind productivity growth. All right. it will always make sense to store value in sats. It will simply be the best saving instrument there is, constantly appreciating without a third party or venture failure risk. There are risks to staking and holding Bitcoin before hyper Bitcoinization occurs. Some of these risks are technical in nature. We still don't have the safekeeping truly sorted out for good. Those tools are improving at a rapid pace and are becoming more intuitive. Other risks are political nature. The states will still have the legal monopoly on money and will protect it. Current Bitcoin holders will face the risk of unfair tax treatment or other form of harassment. That is why it is possible to be early, even though nobody will ever be late to adopt Bitcoin. Early simply means being there before hyper Bitcoinization occurs. And that will be something to tell our great grandchildren about, right? Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.